Are you really leaning any closer to one rather than the other?
Well, I'm biased because I'm a wizard. Now here's the demon hunter.
Give me a name.
Well, I'm also biased because I have a favorite planeswalker. She's a bit of a dick. No. Yeah.
I already think I have a character name that on here.
Damn it. You just be a lily.
Like that?
Uh-huh.
I think I need help, 'cause I've put myself through hell. I think I need help, 'cause I'm drowning in it's sinking in. I can't pretend that I ran through hell. I think I need help.
Nom nom Doritos. Because when you're hardcore gaming, you need snacks.
Believe it or not, I didn't do a whole lot of snacks when I hardcore game.
But I am for you.
Oh, you're doing all the snacking for me?
I have Doritos and Mountain Dew for him. I am vicariously stereotypical game snacking for him. Don't worry, I've got you covered here. And don't worry, I will pay the price for it later. But that's later. Right now, I'll be happy. Isn't that what it's all about? That temporary happiness? That feel. So something exciting happened to us today. Do you want to share that, or do you need to focus superly?
I don't even know what we're talking about.
We went into one of our favorite stores today, and we were perusing, as you do, and
Oh, it's open, son.
we were taught how to play a cool new game. Were we not?
We were.
Do you want to talk about that a little?
Yeah, so the game we were playing is called...
Isn't it like Dragon Crusade or Castle Dragon Crusade?
No. I can't even remember what the new name was.
Castle Dragon?
No, it was like Parents of...
I'm turning into a dragon.
Oh, Dragon Castle.
I'm sorry, just said.
Oh, sorry. Different place. I thought you were talking about the other game store we were at.
No. No, I'm segueing into the other thing that we brought home.
Ah. Yeah, Dragon Castle is pretty good.
Do you want to talk about the way that game plays with it?
Yeah, so Dragon Castle is a brand new game that has kind of come out for...
It's a board game.
it is a tile game, a board game, something like that. Anyway, that has come out for just recently, coming out of Origins, which is a big gaming expo. We're getting to that fun part of the year where, like, every week you can see a new game coming out. So this one, if you played like Mahjong in the sense that of like computer Mahjong, it's essentially that. You're trying to take types, like two of the same type of tile, and then place them in your own victory pile. And then throughout doing this, you're trying to get the tallest, kind of your own personal castle.
That sounds like fun.
It was a ton of fun, and in fact, watching it be played, the only downside I have to it currently is that it just seems like it takes a lot of
Setup?
setup time. Yeah. For the time, like, because you have to build the whole like tower yourself. It doesn't like come pre-made, and it's not like it's set up the same every time. It's just a random thing.
Yeah, but we have a lot of games that take a long setup.
Oh yeah.
So then, we were looking at some other games. So there's a game that we already own called Mysterium. Mysterium is a fun game because one person is a ghost, and the ghost gives you visual clues, and the other players are trying to figure out what these clues mean, and these clues represent kind of a person, place, and object. And if you guess the person, place, and object, you move forward. And we already have the base game, but there are expansions that give you more cards and change the game a little bit and stuff like that. So I was looking at that. And then there was a new game that I was looking at about being a cat lady that I thought was kind of cute. And a game that a friend of ours has called Dice Forge.
The game is amazing. It's all about upgrading sides of dice as you're... all about upgrading your dice as you're playing the game. So you're increasing the awesomeness of your dice as you continue to move forward. I know there's supposedly a theme around it, but the theme was kind of pasted on, in my opinion.
It's a very fun game.
It is an extremely fun game.
And then there is a game that we've been toying around purchasing as well, called Azul. And so I was kind of looking at that. And then there was a rack that had these little, they look like mini Legos. And you put them together and you make designs. And the designs are of Pokemon. And we already have one that Ish put together that was of a Snorlax. And so we picked up two tonight. We picked up a Charmander and a Squirtle. So those are going to be projects that we put together in the future. And so as we were checking out, Ish thought to inquire about a promo for a game that we had picked up previously. So why don't you talk about that part?
I picked up a promo for the game, sorry. I picked up a promo for Thanos Rising. It's an amazing game. It's a dice rolling game where you're trying to match symbols of dice. And you're trying to eventually defeat Thanos' lackeys before he creates maybe an Infinity Gauntlet full of gems.
And destroys the world.
That's something with the world.
And so, what's the promo like?
The promo is an extremely powerful card that I'm not going to talk too much about. Because it's kind of spoilerish. But it is super good.
Yeah, but what if they're lovers of the comics and then they already know?
I guess they would.
Is anyone in chat a Marvel fan? Like of the movies or of the comics? Hey Del, how are you?
How's it going, Del? Oh, I can talk about it, I guess. So it'll be Stormbringer, and it lets you do an extremely powerful effect in the game.
Knockers, you should totally do some yarring and watch them on date night with mom. You know, like one at a time. Start at the beginning.
Yarring? I like that.
Yeah? You think that's subtle and sweet?
That was good. That was good.
Mm-hmm. Just okay, Del? Is there anything we can do to lift your spirits a little? Okay. Putting the snacks away before I go, like, insane.
We should move those somewhere else.
Why? Because you're gonna want them?
Well, they're still not really that far away.
Fine.
Hey!
Bananas!
Crunchiness has subsided.
Mountain Dew. Do the dew.
Oh man, we're just blowing through these areas.
What's wrong, Del? You sound down.
I give, you take, you
Or you seem down, I should say. Because we were talking about Marvel. I hope not. I hope it's not Marvel bringing you down. I hope it's not us. I hope it's not our demon hunter Lily here.
Definitely can be, right?
I mean, she is a little bit of a biatch, but, you know, I think she's pretty hot. I mean, it could just be me. I don't know. Knockers isn't allowed to say she's hot because Mom will hurt him in the no-nos, so, you know, that's a thing, but if anybody else wants to commentate, that's a thing. In other news, to keep our commentary rolling, today we went to a, would it be fair to call it an unofficial college reunion?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
An unofficial college reunion for Ish, and we played some board games, and we played a brand new game that we both very much enjoyed. Although, this is what I will say about my, from my perspective alone. I enjoyed the game, but I did not enjoy the experience.
I also agree with that. There's some people from my college that I'd rather not hang out with. Unfortunately, those were the first people we played a game with. And we weren't disrespectful to them. It's just they tended to make things not fun.
But here's the thing, I didn't even mind the one guy, it's just I knew he didn't know me, if that makes sense. And I knew he didn't understand what was happening, so I think he made an assumption about me, and I was a little, how do I want to put this? I was a little sad that he made the assumption, but I got it. So I wasn't, like, upset that he made it. I was just a little disappointed, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So I didn't have malice that it happened. I just would hope that in the future, he wouldn't do it again.
Oh, he will.
And I wouldn't be against playing games with him in the future. It's just, I probably would correct him and educate him really quickly about, like, dude, here are some boundaries, or, like, here's how things are. If that makes sense. Hey, Puri, happy, Pride Month to you. I am so happy to see all of the beautiful, wonderful pictures that you have been posting all over Twitter and on Facebook. You are gorgeous. I love the pictures you've been posting. They make me smile so much every day when I see them, I tell you. You know, whenever I'm having a down moment or a moment where I'm just doubting my confidence or something, I see them and I just can't help but feel uplifted. It just makes me so happy. You're such a breath of fresh air. Thank you. I can actually speak. You know, sometimes your thoughts just get all jumbled in your, you know, between your brain and your mouth. You just get jumbled. Anyway, back to the story with these people. Okay, so let's set the scene of this situation.
Do you have my things?
Your drinkies?
Yeah.
Yes, I can grab your drink. And indeed, oh, I almost gave you your belt there for a second.
Okay.
I wasn't paying attention to what I was grabbing. I was gonna grab your belt instead. Oh, jeez. See? Here he comes in. I'm all aflutter. See what happens? Harry just makes me so happy. I just start grabbing for random things.
That makes sense. Harry's a fun person to be around. So is Dell. So is everyone. Speaking of everyone, thank you all the Hibbies for coming out tonight.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. You bring so much joy and happiness into our lives. Words cannot express how important each and every one of you are to us. We're so happy to have you here today. And thank you so much for your love and support. And again, if you haven't already followed the channel, please consider following the channel if you love being here, if you love the games that we've been playing. We have been showing you a variety of different games lately. We have played Pokemon, we have played Slay the Spire, we have played now Diablo.
And we started off by playing Keep Talking.
Yes, we did start off with Keep Talking. We like to just mix things up every now and again. And by the way, for those of you who loved Pokemon and what we were doing, we are not going away from Pokemon forever. We will get back to it at some point. We just want to keep things fresh and just, try some different things. And like I was telling Ish today, because he had even said, we can go back to Pokemon if you want. But I kind of told him, I think a lot of people, when they think of the games that he plays and the games that he's kind of known for on his personal stream, they think of Mega Man, they think of Pokemon, they think of Chrono, they think of different things like that from that era, that kind of classic kind of game, if that makes sense. I don't think they think of Diablo and some kind of more time sync, more kind of games with this kind of look, or this kind of mechanic, this kind of I don't want to say difficulty, because those games have difficulty to them, sometimes more difficulty than games like this, but just this kind of era. You know what I mean?
For the record, Mega Man is way more difficult than Diablo.
Right, but do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Does what I'm saying make sense at all?
It does to me.
I hope it makes sense to everybody else. They just don't think of this type of game as being your type of game. And I just wanted people to see that, you play a really diverse bunch of games. And that, I love seeing you play all different kinds of games. And this is one of my favorite games to watch you play. The first time that I came to visit you, I remember you played this.
Did I?
Yeah, you played a witch doctor character. Yeah, you don't remember that.
I don't remember just having you watch me play games.
I think I requested it, and you thought I was nuts, and I said that it meant a lot to me that it happened, and you just thought that was really weird. But I thought that it was a really good thing. But anyway, my point is that I really, and it's kind of funny because at the time that it happened, we had a setup that was similar to this, except the table that you're using right now was my table, and this table right here that the second monitor is on was the table you were using. It was just set up where the table you're using right now is. Kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And, yeah, and I was watching you play, and it made me really happy. But my point is that it's really, really nice to see you play diverse, games. And the thing that I want about this channel for everybody to see is that we are really diverse in the hobbies that we have, in the video games that we love and that we play, and that we support. And also the games that we are, the hobbies that we have, from board games to card games to dice games to role playing, from RPGs to actually getting books out and playing things like D&D or specialty things. Like I have a book that is Harry Dresden based role play that I have yet to do, but I am so excited to actually break out and do. Like I said, we have the little like mini, they're not actually Legos, but they look like Legos.
Nanoblocks.
Yeah, we have those. We have little puzzle things. I forget what they're called exactly, but we have lots of those around our apartment. Like we have
Oh, the
lots.
plastic 3D puzzles.
Yeah, we have those around. Like we are into a lot of different hobbies.
Well, Del, I'm happy you're here with us today.
Oh, I'm so glad that you're here today, Del. It's wonderful to see you.
Good to have a friend in here with us. Alright, so I'm actually going to talk about I want to talk about one thing that actually had happened in this game that they actually had to patch out. When this game first came out, first of all, it was a cluster. The launch of this game was a complete disaster, and over the past, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, it actually became playable. So this bridge was actually not like a warp point, and it would actually take you through the entire bridge, and you could pull impossibly hard creeps back to the town where the town people would kill them for you, and you would get experience for it. So you could go on like triple hard difficulty and just kite these guys back into town.
I'm sure everybody exploited that.
They didn't. I mean, it wasn't around for too long.
At first, everybody did, though.
Oh, I'm sure they did. Hey, Brittany.
Hey, Brittany. Thanks for coming. Pleasure to have you here as always. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming this evening. It's a pleasure to have you here. Was there anything else you wanted to say, dear? I wanted to get back to the story.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I just didn't want to go into something if there was, more you wanted to go into.
Oh, that was mostly it.
So back to the experience that we had with the gaming thing. So we were playing a new game, and the name of it escapes me at the moment.
Me as well.
But the premise is that you are professors at a school, and you're all vying for the position of headmaster. And you want to gain favor to get this position.
Like a wizarding school, too, right?
Yeah, it's like a wizarding school. It was presented to us like Harry Potter, but I'm thinking that it's not really along those lines. Thinking that way is a little premature. It is not innocent in that sense. So when you think of it in those terms, it's not quite right. I would think of it more cutthroat than that.
That's a good wizardry book.
I don't know.
I don't know, like kind of not Dresden Files, but that kind of dark and
Yeah, it's
everyone's backstabbing each other kind of thing.
it's more dark than Harry Potter. I know that there are some dark elements, you know, it'd be kind of like if Voldemort just ruled the world, kind of thing.
More or less.
Kind of thing, but, basically, you pick a character, and I'm not gonna go into all the mechanics of the game, but, we had somebody teaching us how to play the game who was not very good at explaining how to play the game. So, I'm the kind of person who gets really nervous when I'm first playing a game. And I get very nervous when I'm playing with new people. So that's two different kinds of anxieties coming at me at once, if that makes sense. And this is the kind of game where there are a couple of different moving parts, if that makes sense. So, by the time I kind of realized what was going on in the game, how to play the game, I had already given up playing the game. And the reason for that was kind of simple, and I'm going to explain that in a second. So, there were 5 rounds in the game.
Yep.
And we were in the first round, and everybody had a certain number of turns within the first round, right?
About like 2 or 3.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 turns in the first round, right? So it was my first turn in the first round, and I asked a question. And I was spoken down to, like I was a stupid girl, for asking a question. And I kind of got the gist that that's what was going to continue to happen. And I wasn't being dumb in the question that I was asking. It was my first time playing the game, and I was asking the question because I could have interpreted a card that I had just read 3 different ways, and I was trying to figure out what it meant without giving away what the card was. And I didn't want to make a mistake.
I think you asked the question properly. Now knowing what the card was.
Yeah.
No, see, the thing is, I had no clue what the card was.
Right.
But there was no, like, yeah, you can do that. Anyway, it was a simple no you can or yes you can't that would have been an answer.
Yeah.
And instead what you got was, there's no reason why you would, so don't do that.
Yeah. So, at that point, literally, I stopped playing the game. Like, I stopped asking questions, I stopped trying, I just took actions like you're supposed to, and that was it. Like, I put no effort in. I literally yawned. I wouldn't make eye contact with people. I did not put any effort into this game. Yet, this one person would literally, like, talk down to me about my turn. And was, like, quote-unquote giving me advice and treating me like the dumb girl who's just playing games with her boyfriend and has never played board games and is, like, ridiculous and just dumb the whole time.
To be fair, he was doing the same thing to me. Just to a lesser extent.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like... I don't want to say that it wasn't just, you know, him being a complete bigot, but, you know, he was doing it to everybody. So it was shared bigotry. But it was definitely
like,
worse for, you know...
Yeah, it was, like, worse at me, but, like, it was to everybody. And, like, the thing is, like, he was even being that way a little bit to the person who taught him how to play the game at some point. It's just, like, the person who taught him how to play the game and Ish was just, they wouldn't like have it, and they were outplaying him at certain points. So he couldn't like say anything, but because I had stopped playing and wasn't taking it seriously, he felt like, oh, well, she sucks, so it's like, okay. So I like literally at one point stopped looking him in the face. Like he was like trying to like get me to make eye contact with him. And I stopped looking at him. Like I stopped looking him in the eye. And he was starting to get pissed because I wouldn't make eye contact with him. Like I was just sick of him. And I was acting so bored and so like disinterested. I stopped making eye contact with him. And he was getting so peeved that I wouldn't make eye contact with him. I thought he was gonna like start yelling at me or something. Like he just looked like he was gonna blow his top. But instead, he would like make a little fist, have his moment, and then he would like carry on. And then it would be like the next guy's turn. Because he was like across the table from me. And so it would be my turn, and then it would be the guy who taught us how to play the game's turn. And then it would be this guy's turn. So it wasn't like his turn was after mine or before mine. You know what I mean? Like there was always somebody, you know, before and like there was always somebody between us, you know? It's not like we were ever near each other in terms of our turns. So every time he was like giving his advice, it was weird. So it was a thing. Craziness. I'm sorry to hear that you're having a bad thunderstorm, Mom. I don't think it should knock you offline, but if you are, we definitely will know why. But you should probably be okay. It shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, so that was kind of our experience. But the game itself was a really fun game. And I had told Ish that there was something mean that I was considering doing to him, but I decided not to do it because I decided to take the high road instead. But I had these characters, I had 2 of them, and their like special ability, I guess you could say, is that if you pay a mana, and I had like enough mana to do it, if you pay a mana, you can use them to literally wound another person's character and knock them out of their spot. So basically you send them to the infirmary and basically ruin their turn. So like if he worked really hard and picked a spot that would help him out, I could pay 1 mana and knock him from that spot and mess up his turn. And I had 2 of those, so I could have messed him up twice per turn. And I could have done that like turn after turn.
You could have.
But I decided to be nice and not do that instead.
Yeah, he was kind of a douchebag, in my opinion. In fact, when I was in college, I actively avoided this guy. So, like, to have him as the first person Nina met from my college experience, I was like, oh, good. Check out all the douchebags that I had to avoid.
There was one really cool guy that came in, unfortunately, while we were in the middle of this game, and he had a Northern Invasion t-shirt on, and he said that he had gone to the one this year, and he was talking a little bit about music and stuff, so that was kind of cool. If you guys don't know what that is, it is
It's a big concert right outside of Minneapolis.
and it has a lot of amazing bands. Like
3-day festival, I should say.
it has like Breaking Benjamin, Tool.
Avenged Sevenfold, Perfect Circle, Blackstone Cherry, Bad Wolves, any like popular rock band right now.
So that was really nifty. And our good friend Phil, that we see quite often to play board games with, he was there as well. So we actually got to play a game called Mystic Veil.
I think he likes that game.
Yeah, he seemed to really like it, and we had fun playing it. And actually, we had a very close game.
Very close.
Literally, Ish won by 1 point. I lost by 1 point. Oh my goodness. We were neck and neck that game. Your clock makes me laugh.
Yeah? Why does it make you laugh?
It's just like we're in Doctor Who. And we've gone back in time.
It's always forward.
Not today.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
always
it's tomorrow.
forward.
Well, apparently it's tomorrow afternoon. Did you know that?
I did. No, I can tell.
Oh.
Here.
Oh, it tells you? Should I explain that to people?
No.
Why?
Because
It's embarrassing.
it is slightly embarrassing. I'm broke. I don't want to buy a new PC. My hard drive's dying.
But I don't think, but things are silly. That's not, please, that's not what I was going to say though. What I was going to say was, I think it's silly that out of all the things that it does that.
It was really bad for a while. It's gotten better. Dude, some really bad things with the sound card. It hasn't done that in a very long while.
Oh, I'm not picking on your computer or doing anything embarrassing with it.
Oh, I know.
The only thing I was going to say is that I think it's silly, like, cute silly, that it plays with your time. Because it literally does feel like you're in Doctor Who and you're in a time machine. That's all.
I know. Sorry, I had to go do some things really quick. It was starting to get to the point that I was not feeling good in here. We live in a hot box of a room. And everybody, can you tell me how the game looks for you guys? Does it look really choppy? Does it look good? Speaking about potential bad computer things, I want to make sure that we're giving you a very fun and enjoyable experience to watch. So if you're getting some choppy information, let me know.
You haven't dropped any frames according to this. That's good to know, right?
Yeah.
Moon and Fluid says knockers.
I like it.
Good to know. Have we ever explained Mystic Veil to you guys?
I think we have.
Mystic Veil is a really cool game that I think that has a really interesting mechanic. In a lot of deck building games, you want to, you want to get rid of cards, right?
To make sure that you continuously get the best card you want. Kind of like that game that we played yesterday, right?
Oh yeah, right.
Slay the
right.
Spire.
Yeah. But in Mystic Veil, you have a buildable deck. And what I mean by buildable deck is that you have cards that come in like clear sleeves with rooms for you to put, you can like slide things into them. Right? Is that a good way to explain it?
Yeah, you essentially upgrade the cards.
Right. And you can slide that upgrade in to the slot, to like the sleeve, and it builds up. So if one, for example, says that it has the currency for the game, right? And that's it, and the currency's on the bottom, you could get something that has currency and a special symbol that's for the middle and put that on top of it. And slide it into that sleeve. And it's very beautiful also, the artwork. It has a very kind of elvish, Riverdale...
A very fey look, right?
Yeah, a very fairy, artistic, very just aesthetically pleasing artwork to it. Very nature themed. So it's very mystical and ethereal and just gorgeous to play with. And the mechanic is so different. It's so unique from any other game out there. And it's really addicting. And at first, it seems overwhelming and really weird. And you just think, this is too hard for me. It's too much. It's too weird. I can't do it. But then you're playing it and you're totally beating somebody like Ish at it.
Yes.
And you're thinking, maybe this isn't so bad. And you're kind of addicted to it. And then you're losing to him by 1 point and you're thinking, maybe I want to play this more often. So, it's a really cool game. That I wish that more people would check out. So it's a really cool game.
They've actually adapted that game card system to another game they made, which is like a custom hero battle deck. Seems a little less exciting to me because it's directly competitive. We have a phone call we need to take, so we'll be right back. sorry guys, we're getting ready for our day tomorrow. And Knockout, you gotta play this again. This game is awesome.
Can you play online with people?
You can.
Nako could play with you. Can you imagine the hours that the two of you could put in? Like, you could have no lives together and just play this obsessively together.
I don't need to do that again.
Can you both see it? Like, it would be like that episode of South Park where the mom comes in and puts the poo buckets underneath. It could be a thing. Do you see it? And Mom knows the episode that I'm talking about, and so if she's still here and her storm hasn't upset her internet, she's laughing right now. She's laughing because she knows that Cartman's mom did that, and she loves that episode, the World of Warcraft episode. It's her favorite. It's one of her favorites. Because my mom is a South Park mom because she's special. And, like, my childhood was watching Beavis and Butthead with my mom and South Park with my mom. Because that's life. Because that's my life. Other people's moms did boring things. My mom watched South Park and Beavis and Butthead with me because my mom's awesome. And actually, to be honest with you, every single kid that ever went over to our house was like, your mom is the most awesome mom, because not only does she watch these things with you, but she also bakes and cooks and stuff. There are always goodie bags for all of us on your birthday. She bakes cupcakes for every single bake sale at school. There's a homemade birthday cake for your birthday and a Carvel cake. Like, and for those of you who don't know what Carvel is, it's like a Dairy Queen cake. It's like the same exact thing. It's just Carvel was like our version in New York that we had. But like, you know, they were just like, your mom is like the mom. Like, we wish that, you know, we had the cool mom. You've got the cool mom. Oh, see, this is what happened, though. When I was young, before my dad left, they would tell me I had the hot dad. I didn't want to have the hot dad, because I knew that my dad was a man-ho. So I didn't want them to tell me that my dad was hot, because I knew that people found my dad hot, and I knew that he was a man-ho, and he was taking advantage of the fact that everybody thought he was hot. So it was this weird thing. You've got the cool mom and the hot dad. I didn't want the hot dad. I'd like to throw the hot dad back and just have the cool mom. So then when he left, I was actually relieved, because then I could just have the cool mom. So having just the cool mom was a lot better than having the cool mom and the hot dad. Much better.
Gold increase. We have 2 unique items already, which is pretty cool. They really upped the drop rate on those. They're coming up this fast. Used to be the legendary items never dropped. Mm-hmm. We've already gotten, well, we've been playing for maybe an hour and a half. We've already dropped 2.
Sweet.
Not that they're anything to, like, comb about, but...
Yeah, but still, I mean, that means you're, like, rocking and rolling. Maybe something super good will happen soon. Well, see, the reason that they saw my dad was because Mom had an anxiety disorder when I was really young. And so my dad would go on field trips with us. And so all of the other moms would be like, oh, he's so dreamy and he's so cool going on the field trip. And all the little girls would be like, he's got the hot dad. And he's the only dad here. We just have our moms and blah, 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 you know. Ugh. The only time he ever showed any kind of interest was when somebody twisted his arm and guilted him into going on those field trips. But it's alright, I would guilt him into giving me the best souvenirs from those trips. The most expensive thing or whatever. Because I thought if I got those things, then that would mean that he cared or whatever, I don't know. I still have one of them. I have this like deer figurine thing somewhere. I think it's in a bin downstairs in our storage area. Should be displayed in our house sometime, maybe.
Yes. How you feeling over there?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm feeling great. That's the beauty of this wonderful, beautiful Mountain Dew caffeine with love. Makes you chipper and alert. And I'm posing in a very wonderful manner, but nobody can see it.
Yeah.
I know I'm posing like a model right now. If only there was a camera on me. But there's...
They give you the whole spit image of your dad, or anything?
That's the weird thing, man. Right? You look just like your dad too? Seriously? That's what everybody used to say to me. Oh my god, you look just like your dad. It's funny. When nobody knows you except for your mom, they say, oh my god, you look like your mom. But then, when they see you and your dad next to each other, they're like, oh my god, we were wrong. You look just like your dad. It's the weirdest thing. But if you look at my baby picture and my dad's baby picture, you can't tell which is which, other than his is black and white. Like, it looks exactly the same. And then if you look at my sister's baby picture, she looks exactly like me too. Like, exactly. So, we all look exactly alike. And that's how my mom was like, wow, he really did lie to me. Like, and really did have another kid, because, whoa, exactly alike. I don't know if she's ever shared that story ever, but she shares most of those stories on her casts, so I'm sure that came up at some point, but yeah. We all look like our baby pictures are exact, man. Like, exact. Replicas. Although the sad part, man, is that he went like completely white really, really early. So I'm like always like, I'll see like little like white in my hair, and I'm like, no, 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 I don't want to go all white. You stop. Stop. I don't want to go white now. I'm only in my 30s. I don't want to go white. I don't want to have white hair yet. I don't want to have them yet. I'll totally check that out after cast. The most interesting thing to me is that the receptionist at my former doctor had said, you know, you only have one parent, and she was like trying to guilt me into having a relationship with my dad. I don't know if he had talked to her or what, because he also went to that doctor. This was when I was like, oh geez, I don't even know, 19, 20? It was like right before he moved to Florida. And maybe I was still 18. Yeah, I was like 18, 19, somewhere in there. Anyway, and she was saying how like you're only gonna have one, father, or like that's the only one you're gonna have, kind of thing. And the funny thing about that is that I'm not the one that stopped trying. And I'm actually kind of glad about how my life is. I think I'm really happy. I think you should just be really happy with your life and with the people who are in it and the people that want to be in it. And I'm really happy that all of you are here and in my life right now. And are here at this cast.
Aww.
And I think we're having a really fun time. And I really like this game. I really like the aesthetic of this game. And when I was little, I used to dream about, like, scenes like this, you know what I mean? But not from the perspective of, like, you know how people think that, like, little girls always think of, like, I want to be the princess, and I want to, like, live in a castle, whatever. I never looked at it from the perspective of, like, I want to live in the castle, necessarily. I just wanted to explore the castle. Like, I wanted to have an adventure in the castle like this. I just like the aesthetic, Like, let's just look and explore. Can you minimize that so I can see chat again?
Oh, sorry.
It's alright, it's just I can't see. It's alright, Mom. Welcome back. Hey, Mom, do you remember the World of Warcraft episode for South Park? Do you think Knockers and Ish should recreate it with Diablo? Hee hee.
Ain't gonna happen. You don't want to carry my shit bucket.
No, you don't want me to carry the shit bucket?
You don't want to carry my shit bucket.
Plus, you've got responsibilities with work and everything. Pesky work. Getting in the way of Diablo. Don't they understand you've got to kill things? I mean, things need to be vanquished. Protect the castle. I mean, don't they care about the castle's needs?
No.
No.
They don't.
They just want the product to get out.
They really don't.
So far, what's been the favorite class that you've played?
Me?
Yeah.
I have a lot of nostalgia for the Witch Doctor. That was the first one I ever ran through Diablo. Demon Hunter is probably one of my lower classes that I like to play.
Why?
They're very squishy.
What do you mean by that?
They will die very easily.
Well, you haven't.
Yeah, we're not. We're just starting the game. Usually once I get to Diablo, it's just really rough. Die.
What you're telling me is that you wish that we had picked a different kid.
I would have loved to play Monk or pretty much any other class except for this one. But we chose this class, and we're going to make this work.
Ouch. Sorry, I hit my elbow.
What's up, King Leor? Bring it.
so just when you die with this one, we'll do another one.
You don't die with these characters.
And what happens?
They're persistent.
And so then when you die...
You just respawn.
And respawn and respawn and respawn?
Yep.
Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same
That's
that
cool.
burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses.
So Lily is just the
Forces draw the
gift
same
that keeps on giving.
killing in the name of. Killing in the name of.
Boom! Another rare legendary helm? I think it's the actually same legendary helmet we just have. Yep, just a better version of it. Better cloak. Better belt. So, gain Phantom Knives. This? Haley got it.
Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses.
What is everybody feeling about the game? What are you thinking about the game?
You do what they told you. Now you do what they told you. Now you do what they told you.
Yes, I'm asking you about your thoughts and feelings.
Now you do what they told you. You're under control. Now you do what they told you. You're under control. Now you do what they told you. You're under control. And now you do what they told you. Now you're under control. And now you do what they told you. Now you're under control. And now you do what they told you. You're under control. And now you do what they told you. You're under control. And now you do what they told you. Those who died are justified. But wearing the badge, they get chosen white. You're justified. Those that died, but wearing the badge, they get chosen white. Those who died.
We go to the cemetery.
But wearing the badge, they get
From the cemetery, we go to the fields of death.
those that died, but wearing the badge, they get chosen white. Come on.
I actually really hate the polos.
Oh, Brittany, I totally heard that too. It took me a minute to figure out what the heck he was meaning to.
Squishy, sorry. Dies very easily.
Yeah, I got it after a while, but at first I was like, wait, what? Believe me, you are not alone. That's why I asked questions, because I was like, say what? So I am going to be trying new foodstuffs tomorrow, which normally would have scared the bejesus out of me, but I'm actually kind of excited. I think I'm a changing people. in a good way. I'm more open to new things. Isn't this exciting, everybody?
Exciting me.
Why, because you might have a partner to go to this particular restaurant with now? Yes?
Yes.
Yay! Yay for trying new things! Yeah, but I think this restaurant is like the favorite restaurant of one of the people we're going to be hanging out with.
Definitely is.
Because I think he like talks about it all the time.
Yep. They make special trips to this thing.
Wow. Welcome back, Knockers.
Victory is all you need, so cultivate and plant the seed. Hold your breath and count to 10. Just count to 10. Just
Ah.
But you called it. So props to you for knowing your cousin very well and his birthday plans.
He does it every year.
Well, if it makes him happy.
Yeah.
That's what your birthday's for, right? To celebrate yourself and your another year of living and live it up. That sounds like that's what he's gonna do. And he's responsible in making sure his kid's taken care of while he does it. That's a good thing. Sense of responsibility. That's being responsible with the choices he's making. Always a positive, good thing. Yay for good decisions.
The King Crypt is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, it is. See, that's Castle-y. That looks very much like Pee-wee, man.
They're pretty similar.
No! Which one from Pee-wee? Pee-wee.
Go for it.
No, I don't like playing Pee-wee alone, and nobody likes playing Pee-wee with me. So I'm in a conundrum.
I don't mind playing Philly with you.
Good lord. And the whole time you play Pee-wee, you say you miss Diablo.
Well, yes.
And that makes me not want to play Pee-wee with you. That's a horse.
Cycle is real.
And banana hammocks are also real.
Right.
How do those bat things? Gotta... You kill them too quickly though. They don't really get time to shine. Now if they were like high powered or something. Go through monsters way too fast. We need to find you something harder to fight.
We're working on that. We killed the orc already.
Exactly, like, let's get some harder. Oh, is that a harder thing?
It is.
Yay, harder things! Yay.
Killed him.
looks like a one-person wrecking ball.
Yay!
Okay, for being a
We
one-person.
killed the treasure goblin.
And you got lots of loot.
Got fat loots.
Woo! Does it make you feel schmexy? Schmexy all night long?
Doesn't make me feel schmexy all night long.
Why not?
I don't know. One of the things I really like about this game is just like this is like just kind of grinding through the forceful things that we have to do in order to play the rest of the game. And then once you grind through this, there's so much other things you can do.
Right.
It's like every other one of these games, you know, the pose, any sort of kind of active.
It's what Pewee is life. Sorry, I love Pewee. I love Pewee because of the skill tree. I love the freedom it gives you to make your own choice of how your character's gonna be. Like, literally, you can pick and choose how your skills are gonna go. Like, who you're gonna be in the world.
And when we say PoE, we mean Path of Exile, for those of you who are unaware.
How would you not know what Pewee? That's blaspheming epic portions of his life. Damn.
Sacrificed, my heart's been cauterized, hanging on to hope, shackled by the ghost of what
They're so
I believe that I could never be. What's right in front of me? I am the fire, I am burning brighter, roaring like a storm, and I am the
Thank you. Thank you.
So what?
Okay, me.
Oh.
So what I really wanted to do here, guys, is get through the spider, and then we're gonna call it a night.
We have some intense things to do tomorrow.
Not that intense.
Well, intense but fun things to do tomorrow. But still things to do tomorrow. Oh, speaking of which, I was telling... You okay?
We're good.
I was telling, Knockers, about this episode, speaking of spiders, of Grey's Anatomy. This isn't a spoiler for those of you who haven't seen all of Grey's Anatomy yet, who might want to catch up and watch all of Grey's Anatomy. It's not a major plot point or anything, but, there's this episode where this man, well, there's this, let me explain better. There are these doctors, and they are outside the emergency bay area, and one of the doctors is Dr. Bailey, And if you have watched any episodes of Grey's Anatomy or you ever watch them, you know that she's one of the best doctors that they ever have in the entire series. And Dr. Bailey is like awesome. She's a powerhouse doctor. And she's one of the ones like at the forefront. And there's this woman standing by her car and she's like yelling at this guy inside the car. And every time she unlocks the door, he locks the door and like he won't come out of the car. And she's getting pissed and she keeps like saying stuff to try to get him out and he keeps locking the door and saying he won't come out. And Dr. Bailey's like, sir, if you don't come out, we can't treat you. Like, if there's something wrong with you, you should let us check you out, blah, blah, blah. And so, finally, he lets them treat him, and basically, he had the HPV virus, which I don't know if any of you know what that is. It's the human papillomavirus. It's, in the 90s they had that, those commercials for girls saying like you might have HPV and you should be tested for it, blah blah blah. It was like a really big thing. Anyway, basically, if you get it, it can cause your body to have like sores and things. Well, apparently with him, he had them, but he never got them treated or whatever, and they got out of control all over his like skin and body, and it caused his body to make his limbs almost like tree limbs, if this makes sense. And so they had to like this is like a real thing that can happen if it's neglected, which is weird, which I didn't actually know. And of course, because like it's a TV show and it's dramatic and whatever, they made it to like the extreme of what can happen. So it's not like, you know, this would happen automatically or whatever. Like, you would have to leave this untreated for an obscene amount of time for this to ever happen to you. But anyway, so his hands looked like tree branches almost. And so they had to like, you know, remove things off of like his actual, you know, because like his fingers are underneath. So they would have to move the excess stuff that had grown around and everything. So they were in the process of doing that, and the one girl was like disgusted at the stuff that they had to remove, and she thought that it was icky and whatever, and she was making her displeasure really, really known. And I think he was sedated for this because it could potentially hurt, because, you know, the sores and everything like were like on top of his skin or whatever, so like they sedated him so he was unconscious so he wouldn't feel any pain. So she's making her displeasure known, and so like the other doctors can hear, but the patient can't hear. And so Dr. Bailey's like, will you please be professional? You know what I mean? Like, even though he can't hear you, he is a patient, you know what I mean? He deserves the respect, blah blah blah, because that's her personality, if that makes sense. So then all of a sudden a spider comes out from between his like two fingers as they're like working on everything, and it made me think of Knockers instantly, because I was watching this episode at like 3 in the morning when I couldn't sleep, and I was like, this is Knockers' episode, because it was like this huge spider. And it made me think of him, and so I asked Knockers the other day, Knockers, do you remember this episode? Because I know that he's a Grey's Anatomy fan, and I knew that he would know that episode because it probably freaked him out when he first saw it and made him jump, because it made Bailey jump, and she freaks out, and she's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, somebody take care of it, somebody take care of it, somebody kill it, somebody kill it, somebody take care of it, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, because she was cool as a cucumber, saying how like we act with respect, we act with dignity, we don't let anything bother us, we are professionals. And then that happens and she freaks out, And I'm like, oh my god, Knockers, do you remember this episode? Would you act like Bailey? Would you have this happen to you? Blah, blah, blah. And he was like, he made his little like whimper sound. He was like, I remember the episode, I remember. And it made me laugh. And it made me think of him when I watched it. And like, all things considered, it wasn't a huge spider. It was like I mean, probably bigger than like your house spider that you would see like in your sink or something, but not like as big as a spider you'd see in a video game though.
Well, we might not be as far as the thought we were going to.
I'll leave the past behind me. For now, I accept who I've become. And now I see clearly. All these times, I simply stepped aside. I watched but never really listened as the whole world passed me by. All this time, I watched from the outside.
We'll try to get both of these and finish this little quest. Get the second piece of the stone. And then we'll call it for the night. I forgot how much this first act is. I'm really good at knowing what the second act is and knowing when good stop in front of that one is. First act I have a hard time with still.
I know that Knockers likes a certain section of Grey's Anatomy a lot because he had like a little crush, I think, on one of the characters because he thought she was really pretty. And it's kind of funny. I think he has an actual type because she kind of reminds me of the way my mom looked in her 30s and the way my mom looks still now. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, I think he actually has a type and like my mom totally fits that type. Like, the character is like so my mom, except this particular character has lesbian tendencies, which my mom doesn't have. But like, if we're going on looks alone and like personality alone and take sexuality out of it, this character is like totally my mom. It's kind of funny. Essentially. My mom is totally Knockers type.
Well, it's good, isn't it?
I know, right? Good for mom to know that. Even down to like her hair color and everything. And like those episodes were on like before he even met me and we were friends so long before he even met mom. So it's kind of cool